first. That's probably why we should have said that first one and been done.
Yeah, but Landon deleted it.
Why?
Wait, you deleted it?
Yeah, you did.
She didn't want them anymore.
Alright, let's take Landon outside.
I know, right?
Okay, ready?
Stick.
Make sure your timer starts. Legs, arms, chests, backs, bodies in general are amazing. Skeletal muscles have the capability of generating and releasing immense power, and it's fascinating to watch others push their bodies to the limits. Isn't that why people watch sports? To watch as athletes spin and jump and sprint and generally perform amazing feats of speed, power, and agility. Now, professional athletes spend years of their lives conditioning their bodies and their muscles for a competition of a lifetime, but that's not the only reason why muscles are important. Each of you has over 600 muscles working together right now to make your body function properly. I hope today to give you a little bit of new information, a little insight into the types of muscles, the way muscles are named, and the way muscles work today. Now, I mentioned earlier that skeletal muscles have the ability to be superstars in the body. However, that implies that there are more than one type of muscle, doesn't it? And there are three types of muscle. There's skeletal, smooth, and cardiac. The first we're going to look at is smooth muscle. Now, according to the Encyclopedia Britannica and their article on smooth muscle, it gives a basic rundown, and I'm just going to summarize that information. First of all, smooth muscle is involuntary, meaning you don't have to control it. It, quote, contracts slowly and automatically, making it perfect for your digestive tract. You don't have to think about digesting food. Secondly, in an Encyclopedia Britannica article on skeletal muscle, we learned that skeletal muscle is what makes voluntary actions possible. It's what lets you throw and run and kick balls. Lastly, we have cardiac muscle. Cardiac muscle, the Encyclopedia Britannica article on twitch and tetanus response, explains how cardiac muscle is unique in that it's branched like a tree. It's also similar to smooth muscle in that it's involuntary. You don't have to tell your heart that it needs to beat, but also that it's striated like skeletal muscle. Now, skeletal muscle is my personal favorite. It's what people think of when they go to work out. You're going to work out your trapezius or your biceps or your gluteus maximus. Now, when I went to go find out how muscles were named, because over 600, they each have an individual name, and I found on the NIH website SEER training modules, which explained the complexity and the intelligence behind the naming of muscles. One way they're named is by the number of origins, the number of connections to bone. The quads, I'm sure we all know quad means 4, and triceps 3 and biceps 2. It's quite intelligent. In fact, the names are like a hidden code with a descriptor to its location, its size, and its shape. But that doesn't really tell us how it works, does it? Well, in a Martini textbook in 2005, it gives a description of the surface anatomy. Now, the surface anatomy, think of a muscle like a cup, and the cup is your epimysium, and inside of it you have a bunch of straws. Your straws are your fascicles. And inside those straws, you have your muscle fibers. But that still doesn't really tell us how it works, does it? We need to look a little bit deeper. And here is where Robert Clark in his textbook comes to our rescue to explain the sliding filament theory as a, quote, rowing a boat. The Nature Education article in 2010 by Jacob Kranz goes a little bit further and explains it as if you were standing in the middle of a room with ropes connected to 2 bookshelves, and you're pulling them towards your body, almost like a zipper here. We have the 2 bookshelves, we have 2 different muscle fibers, and as they contract, they zip up the middle towards the center line, towards the middle, and that's how they contract. That's how all of your muscles shorten to lift a weight or to lift your body up off the couch when you're working out. Now, these millions of muscle fibers all have to work together just for one simple movement. And I think that's an extremely complex thing to learn about oneself. And as we've learned today, there are over 600 muscles in your body, and they're named individually, all 600, by certain factors, whether how many insertions or origins. We've learned how the sliding filament model works as a zipper to bring your muscles closer together. And I hope that next time you work out or the next time you move, you have a better appreciation for how your muscles contract.
You gotta show everybody.
I thought that